If your goal is to build muscle, here are 3 peptides that you need to understand.
DL-185 is one of the strongest peptides to gain actual muscle mass and strength. So if you guys are not taking that, you probably just don't know about it.
There's a new health trend spreading through social media and going from gym to gym. It comes in tiny vials and lives in people's fridges. Depending on who's selling it, it's supposed to help you lose fat, build muscle, improve your skin, and even sharpen your brain. The item behind it all is peptides. Right now, peptides are being promoted like magic drugs for the modern world. They sit somewhere between supplements, steroids, and internet folklore. Some are real prescription medications. Others are experimental. Some are bought from shady websites with labels that literally say not for human use. Today, we're breaking down what peptides are, why they've suddenly exploded, why young people are starting to inject them, and why this entire trend might be a lot more dangerous than people want to admit. Peptides are short chains of amino acids. Amino acids are the building blocks of proteins, and your body already uses peptides for a lot of important functions. Some peptides help regulate hormones. Others are involved in metabolism, healing, appetite, and other biological processes. So peptides are not automatically fake or sketchy. In fact, some peptide-based medicines are extremely important. Insulin, which is used for diabetic medication, is a peptide hormone. GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy are connected to this broader world of peptide-based medicine as well. That part is legitimate. The problem is that the internet took the word peptides and turned it into a giant umbrella term for almost anything that comes in a vial and sounds like it was named by a robot. BPC 157, TB 500, C-Max, Epidolon. The list goes on. Some people talk about these like they're the future of health. Others talk about them like they're steroids with better branding. And a lot of users don't fully understand what they are putting into their own bodies. That's the first problem. Because when something sounds scientific, people just assume that it must be safe. But scientific sounding is not the same thing as actually scientifically proven. The reason peptides became mainstream is obvious. Ozempic and other GLP-1 drugs changed the culture. For years, injections were seen as serious medicine. Most people are not casually talking about shots unless they had diabetes, fertility treatments, or hormone therapy. Then, GLP-1 weight loss drugs became one of the biggest health stories in the world. Suddenly, injectable medication wasn't just medical, it became aspirational. People saw celebrities getting thinner, and they saw coworkers losing weight. They saw influencers posting transformation videos. They saw telehealth companies advertising weight loss shots like they were skincare subscriptions. The public learned a new idea. Maybe an injection can change your life. That created a massive ripple effect. If one injection could help with weight loss, people started asking what else an injection could do. That curiosity turned into demand. And the wellness industry, as it always does, saw that demand and immediately started building a business around it. Peptides fit perfectly into the modern wellness industry because they offer what people have always wanted, a faster way to change their bodies. The appeal isn't just convenience. Peptides feel like cutting-edge medicine. They sound scientific, they come in tiny vials, and they give users the impression that they're accessing something more advanced than ordinary diet, exercise, or sleep advice. Taking them can feel more sophisticated than simply being told to drink more water and to go to bed earlier. That's why the trend has spread far beyond just one group. Gym regulars talk about peptides for recovery, bodybuilders promote them for performance and muscle growth, beauty influencers discuss them in connection with their hair, skin, and aging. Viewers see all of this content and begin to wonder whether they're missing out on a major health breakthrough. That's where marketing becomes especially effective. Peptides aren't presented as one specific treatment for one specific problem. They're often presented as the potential answer to almost every insecurity a person might have. If you're tired, there's supposedly a peptide for energy. If you're struggling with your weight, there's one for fat loss. If you're worried about aging, recovery, focus, sleep, or confidence, someone online is ready to recommend you another compound. Young people are especially vulnerable to this trend because they're growing up in a culture where appearance and performance are constantly being measured. Every time they open social media, they're shown perfect bodies, dramatic fitness transformations, and expensive wellness routines. These influencers appear to be successful and productive at all times. Most people understand that social media is curated, but that doesn't mean it stops affecting them. Content exposure still creates pressure, especially when the same images are reinforced every day. Peptide marketing takes advantage of that pressure. For young men, the pitch often focuses on muscle and gaining an advantage in the gym. For young women, the marketing tends to focus on weight loss, hair growth, and anti-aging. For people working stressful jobs, the promise shifts towards energy, better sleep, and productivity. The details change depending on the audience, but the underlying message stays the same. You're not operating at your full potential yet. Many young adults are dealing with financial pressure and body image concerns. When someone offers a small vial that appears to promise visible improvement, it can feel like an opportunity rather than a risk. The attraction doesn't always come from recklessness. It often comes from a culture that repeatedly teaches people to view their natural bodies as unfinished projects that need constant improvement. A large part of modern peptide culture grew out of communities where experimental body enhancement was already common. Bodybuilding and hardcore gym culture have always included people willing to test the boundaries of performance-enhancing substances. Social media just brought those conversations into the mainstream. TikTok made their transformations visual. Reddit made detailed discussions easy to find. Discord moved certain conversations into private groups. Influencers made peptide use appear normal, while med spas and wellness clinics gave the trend a professional-looking exterior. Together, those platforms created a powerful distribution system for medical claims that often spread much faster than the evidence behind them. The average person no longer needs to visit a doctor or read a medical study to hear about peptides. They may discover them through a fitness influencer or a health ad. The videos may look convincing, and the comments may be filled with people claiming great results, but none of that proves that the product is safe for human use. Once someone watches a few of these videos, the algorithm can quickly fill their head with discussions about peptide stacks, injection routines, and transformation photos. Repetition makes the entire practice feel more common and accepted than it may actually be. When risky behavior begins to look normal online, people tend to underestimate the danger. Now, the peptide trend becomes much more concerning when you look at how some of these products are sold. Many popular online peptides aren't distributed like ordinary prescription medicines. You don't go to the pharmacy with the prescription to go pick it up. They're found through gray market websites, overseas manufacturers, and private online sellers. The product pages often include labels such as for research purposes only or not for human consumption. In many cases, the people ordering the products appear to be regular consumers planning to inject them into themselves. That creates serious questions about quality and safety. Without normal pharmaceutical oversight, buyers may not know whether a product was manufactured under sterile conditions, stored properly, measured accurately, or tested for contamination. They might not even know whether the vial even contains a compound listed on the label. That uncertainty matters because injectable substances bypass many of the body's natural barriers. Things like sterility, manufacturing quality, and dosage accuracy aren't minor details. They're central to whether an injectable product is safe. If the entire supply chain comes from an anonymous website or a social media recommendation, the user may be taking a much bigger risk than they realize. But peptides also spread because they can have extremely profitable margins for sellers. A product that may be relatively inexpensive to manufacture can be sold at a significant markup through wellness clinics, online vendors, and influencer networks. Each layer in the industry can earn money from the same promise that one more treatment can help a customer better themselves in some way. The marketing often relies on vague language rather than direct promises. Sellers may claim that a product supports recovery or promotes vitality. These phrases sound scientific and reassuring without necessarily committing to a specific medical outcome. For the customer, however, the purchase can feel deeply personal. People aren't buying a vial, they're buying hope that they'll finally lose weight or feel energetic again. That emotional element makes the business model powerful. The industry doesn't have to sell a certainty. It only has to sell the possibility that the better version of a customer is one treatment away. The most troubling part of the peptide boom may be what it reveals about modern culture. Many people aren't using these products because they're treating a diagnosed medical condition. They're using them because they've been convinced that they're not lean enough or attractive or young enough. Insecurity has become its own market. Once people start believing that every perceived flaw needs a chemical solution, the process can become difficult to stop. Weight loss may lead to concerns about skin. Skin concerns may lead to hair treatments. Then comes sleep, hormone, and aging. Self-improvement slowly turns into constant self-monitoring. Instead of living in their bodies, people begin managing them like businesses that are always missing their targets. Every natural change becomes a problem to solve, and every insecurity becomes another opportunity for someone to sell a product. That may be the real danger of the peptide craze. It doesn't simply encourage people to pursue better health. It encourages them to believe that they should never be satisfied with themselves. Now, peptides aren't fake, and the category itself shouldn't be dismissed. Some peptide medications are legitimate, and some are life-changing. But the online peptide boom is moving much faster than regulation and public understanding surrounding many of these products. The problem isn't that people want to improve their health, it's that medical uncertainty is being marketed as confidence. Influencers are speaking with the authority of doctors, and sellers are benefiting from vague promises, while consumers are being encouraged to inject substances that they may barely understand. Before this trend becomes completely normal, there's one question worth asking. Are people actually improving their health, or are they volunteering to become the experiment? Now, like and subscribe if you like this video. Let me know in the comments what you want me to cover next.